Hey guys, it's me, Judy, and today's video is a very special video because today we are visiting a plastic surgeon. What? Indeed, I have gone to a plastic surgeon. I've always wondered, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us have always wondered, what we would look like as a better version of ourselves. So I booked a consultation with this plastic surgeon and I ended up going. She did not want to be filmed, so obviously I had to respect that, but I did write a few points or a few notes of what she told me during the consultation, and we're gonna be talking about that during this video. While I'm explaining everything that went on, I'll have Lucas, who is a very talented makeup artist, recreate everything the plastic surgeon suggested to do with my face, but with makeup, just to kind of show if it's actually possible to achieve a surgical look of perfection just with makeup without the actual need of a permanent change. The very first thing the plastic surgeon did was she asked me, first of all, very basic general information about my health, about my lifestyle, about what I thought I didn't like in my face. So the plastic surgeon explained something very important to me when it comes to beauty standards, and that's proportionality. When it comes to being beautiful or having the perfect face, it's very important that it fits something called the golden ratio. For those who aren't familiar, the golden ratio is basically perfect symmetry. The plastic surgeon made it very clear that this might not fit the general standard of beauty in socially. So she gave me an example where a lot of people usually prefer a nose that is a lot smaller than something that might fit proportionally into their face, and thus it might seem out of place, it might not proportionally be pretty. That's the beauty standard when it comes to perfection. Obviously I did change a lot in the after picture. As you can tell, there's a very huge difference between how I naturally look and how I would look with the golden ratio applied. But again, the whole point is for us to try and see if we can achieve this just with makeup. De 2 días o 3 días fui con mi amiga para hacer una limpieza.
¿De facial?
I went with my friend to get a facial, and I thought
my big ass intelligent brain
thought that I was going to have very relaxing treatment at the spa with her, but instead we ended up getting a cleansing, and it's really my fault, I should have done my research. I should have figured out what the hell a cleansing is, and I found out later that it's actually just cleaning out your blackheads, and it was so painful.
wow.
Oh my god, you!
Wow. I feel like if I actually knew what I was going into, it wouldn't have been as painful as it was, but oh god.
Ah, pero yo lo veo bien. Sí, yo te veo más limpia la cara. Esta la que me ves mejor.
There's a world inside my head. I get lost in it from time to time. No one has a spare key, only one is inside of me. Oh, I don't really dare to escape. Fall out in another space, so I stay.
Personally, if I look at myself in the mirror and I see my face, there are a few things in mind that definitely pop up. Not saying I would change it, but they're definitely imperfect. And there were also a few things that the plastic surgeon pointed out that I never even thought of. So yeah, that was interesting. So I guess let's just start off with my face. So there was a lot of talk when it came to my face. One of the biggest beauty standards nowadays is to have a very chiseled face, a very prominent jawline, high cheekbones. Obviously, she measured my face according to that. First of all, she told me I have high cheekbones, which is something I never knew, but I guess I'll take it as a compliment. If you were wondering how to measure your cheekbones, you basically just take your index finger and you place it on top of your lip and your thumb on top of your top ear. You make a straight line with your hand so that you can feel the bone. The minute you feel the bone, so I can feel my bone right here. So this is my cheekbone. If your cheekbone is under your eye or around your eye, you're considered to have high cheekbones. But there's always a but. She also suggested, because you can't really see them, according to her, I have a higher fat percentage in my face over here. Not really where my cheeks are, it's more where around my mouth or around my beard. Which is why she suggested the facelift, because this will help kind of pull everything back. She also suggested a jawline. A jawline. Please have a jawline. She suggested a jaw implant, which is basically implants that is placed around your jaw so that it kind of makes it more prominent and kind of stick out more, because I don't have a prominent jawline. That will also kind of help make it seem more hollow or make my face seem more slim. There are other procedures where you reduce the size of your cheeks or you generally reduce the fat in your face, but she did not recommend that procedure for me, especially, because when you grow up you kind of lose naturally the fat in your face, and if you do a procedure like this, it will kind of give you way too much hollowness when you grow up, and that's not a nice thing. So yeah, she didn't really like that procedure. She did suggest, her main suggestion was a jaw implant. Obviously all these are long-term procedures that are surgical. The whole point of the video is to be able to achieve these results or achieve this final result with makeup. And so your best friend really is contouring, highlighting, making sure the light hits the right spots. But the plastic surgeon also pointed out a few other things that had nothing to do with surgery. So for example, my eye bags or my under eyes, she suggested to treat those, and obviously with makeup you can do that by concealing them.
Wow.
Hey.
Oh, here we go. It's overflow. I don't really know what's on, 'cause I'm a restless soul. Oh, here we go. It's overflow. I don't know where to go. Yeah, I'm a homeless soul.
One of the main things she really focused on was my nose, which is understandable. I get it. I swear to God, I get it. She also explained how the nose is one of the first things people look at. It's also the focal point of all the symmetry in your face, so it's just important, okay? It's important. Get it? For me, obviously my nose is not symmetrical. I don't know if you can tell right now, but a lot of people actually pointed this out before. It's definitely something that personally bothers me because there's a whole backstory to it. But before I get into it, let me just explain where the problem is. So you see, if you look at my nose face front right now, this looks pretty normal, right? And then there's this part over here that's just completely messed up. You can kind of tell that this nostril is not the same size as this nostril. They're not symmetrical at all, and that's because Linda's story time. On a dark evening, 5 lunar moons. What? Whatever. Quite a long time ago, I got very sick. I had an infection in my nose, but I didn't know that. I was bedridden for a week, fever, couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't do anything. Basically, I was just very tired. We did a lot of research and I ended up finding out I had an infection in my nose. When I did go to the final doctor to figure it all out for me, that doctor was like, oh my god, this is an emergency, you're in a very bad state. She ended up breaking my nose, like just on the spot, removing all the disgusting gunk in my nose. It was like the infection. It was just bad. It was just so painful because, I mean, obviously it had to be done. It was an emergency like she said, but I was just not prepared for that at all. So I was in a state of shock for most of the time. It was just hardcore. hardcore breaking, man. That's why this part you see over here is actually cartilage that's supposed to be down here, and it ended up going all the way up here. It's definitely, like I said, something that bothers me, but it's not like,
Oh my god, like crazy, changes my life.
She did point out that these are definitely not symmetrical, and this is definitely something that needs to be fixed. At the end of the day, I don't think as a shape it should change. Maybe, yeah, just fix this. That's it.
I'm breaking down like the rain, like my worries on a windy summer day. What I sense, it's all the same. Can you help me? Can you help me feel okay? Take me out there, your golden wings. I need you, I need you, I need to. Kiss me gently on my forehead. I need you, I need you, I need to.
According to the plastic surgeon, my eyes are decently proportionate. When it comes to beauty standards, a lot of it depends on symmetry and proportionality, and she thought that my eyes were just the right size. But she told me I had hooded deep set eyes, which meant that they are kind of like my eyelid doesn't fully show completely, and they kind of tend to droop, which is something she said she would fix. There's something known as the temporary facelift, which is basically when you put like threads like around here, but she didn't really recommend that treatment because it's very temporary. It's literally just for people who have certain events that they want to go to and they want to look snatched. But to summarize, she basically just pointed out that she would kind of have to do certain treatments or procedures lifted rather than droopy. Wow. But anything else to do with my eyes, she said she wouldn't really do much, considering I'm still relatively young, so I wouldn't really do anything about it.
I'm swimming down the deep like a mermaid, and she needs no air to breathe. My escapes are all the same. Can you help me? Can you help me feel okay? Take me out there, your golden wings. I need you, I need you, I need to. Kiss me gently on my forehead. I need you, I need you, I need to.
She also suggested for my eyebrows a certain procedure called microblading or micropigmentation. Not sure if you guys are familiar with it, but it's basically when you kind of draw your eyebrows in semi-permanently. Mainly because by beauty standards, your eyebrows should be in line with your nose, and obviously mine are not. Mine are way too far. They're far apart. And so a nice way to shape my face is to basically permanently fix my eyebrows. That's when the worst reviewed makeup artists will be very disappointed when they figure out they can't actually fix my eyebrows. Obviously with makeup, this is definitely fixable. Just fill them in, draw them out, conceal, do whatever you need to do to make them look good. And now for lips. Again, this is something I'm very well aware of, and it's something that's definitely been on my mind for a bit. My lips are definitely not proportionate at all. I think you can tell my lower lip is a lot bigger and a lot droopier than my upper lip. So obviously she suggested two procedures. There's the, very famous lip fillers to kind of make the top lid a little more proportionate to my lower lid. And there's a surgical procedure called a lip lift. I didn't even know this thing existed, but when you have a lot of space between your nose and your upper lip, she said around 1.5 to 2 centimeters more space. with a lip lift, they just kind of push the lip up surgically. If your upper lip is completely non-existent or it completely doesn't show, then you'd probably be better off doing it surgically rather than with fillers. Everything else is pretty much fixable with makeup.
Where there's sunshine, there is rain. Where there are faces, there is pain. Lift the sky, go further, push to the edge. We know how to be a hot mess. We know how to be a hot mess, hot mess. All the places we have crashed. And we know how to run distress. We know how to be a mess. Light them fires.
Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's very random, but I don't know, I felt like it would be very interesting to see how my face would be according to beauty standards. And it's also very interesting to see that you can actually achieve that with makeup. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if you think plastic surgery is actually makeup.